losses for the left, wins for the far right, and consolidation for the center-right. The world's largest electoral bloc, the European Union, ended its election cycle on June 9th. Europeans went to the polls to choose representatives from their respective national parties to sit in the European Parliament, the legislative body of the EU. The European MEPs voted in will have a chance to shape the future composition of the European Commission that is in charge of proposing new laws. But why does it matter to China? Current Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is known for her tough stance on China.
Ursula von der Leyen is the architect of the de-risking movement towards China. She's very hawkish.
Chinese subsidized products. These subsidized products, such as the electric vehicles or, for example, steel, are flooding the European market. Therefore, I have encouraged the Chinese government to address these structural overcapacities.
She's very close to the Biden administration, and in the last maybe 15, 16 months, she has really helped Brussels forge a more hardline, tough approach towards China, much different than what it was before.
Under her leadership, the Commission notably launched a probe on imported Chinese electric vehicles, which could result in tariffs on the critical Chinese EV industry. Von der Leyen's European People's Party won the largest share of parliament seats, bringing her a step closer to consolidating power.
Now it's incumbent on von der Leyen to make a coalition with some of the other parties in the parliament to get enough votes, to get a majority of seats that would back her for another term as Commission. And after that, she has to secure the backing of the member states as well. So she needs to get this two-tiered support, both from the MEPs who have just been elected by the people of Europe and by the member state governments. That's the governments from each of the EU's 27 members. And once she gets in, if she gets in, I do think we'll see a continuation of this tough approach to China, de-risking, economic security being top of the agenda.
The elections also saw shifts of seats in parliament. Multiple far-right parties scored huge wins in some key countries. France's National Rally garnered 31%, while Alternative for Germany received 16%, and Brothers of Italy came away with 29%. The outcomes helped strengthen right and far-right voices and coalitions in parliament. The Green, Liberal, and Social Democrat groups meanwhile lost ground. The climate change agenda could suffer as a result.
That would have affected and has affected China. Things like when the European Union is trying to wean itself off its dependence on China for solar panels and wind turbines and electric vehicles by building their own capacities in those areas. Maybe if the Parliament is not vigorously trying to achieve the European Green Deal, then those policies lose some of their impetus.
In France, President Emmanuel Macron announced surprise snap elections following the results. His party, affiliated with the liberal Renew Europe group in the European Parliament, scored poor results in the elections. While Macron supported the EU de-risking agenda with China, he favorably viewed Chinese investments in France.
Macron has been very transparent in what he's doing with regard to EVs. He wants to put tariffs on the imports of Chinese EVs, and he wants to have Chinese companies come and build electric vehicle plants in France so that the jobs are French and the vehicles are made in Europe.
The National Rally, which came on top in France, may form a far-right government if it wins a majority of seats in the French Parliament. A far-right government, however, is not expected to affect France's current relations with Beijing.
I think on those issues, such as a strong economy and jobs for France, I don't think those are necessarily where Marine Le Pen's party and Emmanuel Macron are very different.